Hi everyone and welcome to this Pilates class. So today we're going to be focusing on full body mobility. We're going to be focusing on spinal mobility, hip mobility and shoulder mobility. And we're going to get started on our mats in the 4-point kneeling position. So I want you to make sure your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and we're going to start with some cat-cows. So you're going to inhale to look up and extend your spine, opening up your chest. Exhale, take your gaze towards your navel, flexing your spine. Inhale to look up, extending the spine, shoulder blades come together. Exhale, take your gaze towards your navel, pressing up from the ground, shoulder blades draw away from each other. Inhale to look up, extending the spine. Exhale, take your gaze towards your navel. So we're just mobilizing the spine here. Let's do one more. Inhale to look up. Exhale, take that gaze towards the navel. And then we're going to come to a neutral spine. And now I want you to take your gaze towards your right hip. And then take your gaze back towards your left hip. So we're coming through center and then exhale as you take your gaze towards your hip. Perfect. So we're coming into some nice lateral flexion and opening of the side waist. Let's do two more. Last one. Perfect. Come back to center. We're going to send our legs back so that we're in a half plank. We're going to arch our back, take our hips back over our legs, coming into a shell stretch. I want you to flex your spine, ripple the spine forward, lower the hips, look up and extend the spine, making sure you are not locking in the elbows. Your neck is in line with your spine. We're going to arch our back, taking our hips back over our legs, coming back into our shell, flexing our spine, rippling forward, and then lowering the hips, extending the spine. So inhale to take it back, arching the back. Exhale, take it forward, rippling the spine forward, and then lowering the hips, extending the spine up. This should feel really good. If it's too much for you to lower your hips down too far, just keep them up high. Otherwise, lower them down so that you feel a nice stretch in the lower back. Take that hips back, arching the spine, ripple forward, flexing the spine, gaze towards the navel, and then lower the hips down, looking up, and then take it back, arching the spine, back over the legs. Let's just do one more, rippling the spine forward, flexing the spine, lowering the hips down, sinking the hips down, looking up, opening the chest. Just stay here for a second. Feel how it feels to be in a nice extension. We do so much flexion in our day-to-day living. It's nice to be able to extend the spine, and then we're going to arch the spine, taking it back over our legs into a shell stretch. A nice counter stretch for our back. Just take a moment here. And then we're going to shift forward onto our hands and our knees. I want you to take that right hand. You're going to take it forward, slide it forward, coming down onto your left forearm. Take those fingertips away from you, really feeling a nice stretch in your shoulder. Really lengthen through your arm and then bring it back up. We're going to do that on the other side. So take that left arm forward, taking the fingertips away, feeling a nice stretch in the shoulder, lengthening through the fingertips, and then bring it back in. Extend that right leg, and we're going to circle the right arm. So connect to that core, find that foundation, lift that right arm up, circle it around, coming into some circumduction of the shoulder. Inhale for half the circle. exhale for the other half. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we're going to change the direction, keeping the core in, stabilizing muscles. Let's do one more. Taking it down, bring that right knee back in. We're going to do that on the other side now, so extend that left leg. And we're going to circle that left arm around. Inhale for half the circle. Exhale for the other half, keeping that core engaged so that you keep your balance here. Let's change the direction. Doing 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Take it down, bring that knee back in, and then we're going to pike our hips up into a nice pike position. Lower the heels down to the mat so you're feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings. I want you to lift that right leg, bend it, and take it through between your hands, lowering down that back knee and tucking the back toes, coming into a low lunge. Now I want you to draw the inner thighs together and lift up. Find that balance. Take your hands behind your head. Inhale, you're going to extend your spine looking up. Exhale, you're going to twist towards the right. Coming back to center, inhale, lift up and extend. Exhale, twist towards the right. So really finding length here through the crown of your head and coming into some nice rotation of the spine. Let's do one more and rotate. This is a good stretch for your hip flexors as well. Lower the hands down to the mat and press back up into a pike. Lower the heels down, stretch through the hamstrings. Lift that left leg up, bend it and take it through between the hands. Lower that back knee down and tuck the toes. Draw the inner thighs together. Find that balance, lift up, take your hands behind your head. Inhale, extend the spine, looking up. Come back to center and then exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, extend, looking up, finding that length and extension in the spine. Exhale, twist. Let's do that another 2 times. Keeping that balance, that core is engaged. Inhale, lift and extend. Exhale, twist towards the side. Taking your hands back down to the mat. We're going to pike our hips back up. Feeling a nice stretch in our shoulders as we take our chest through. Lower the knees down to the mat. Cross the legs. Come down onto your glutes. Okay, we're going to come into a little bit of ab work now, focusing on spinal articulation. So we're going to extend our legs, flexing our feet. Our arms are going to come over. And then we're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra. So I really want you to focus on the articulation of the spine. So exhale to roll down vertebra by vertebra. And we're going to do it slowly as possible. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your arms overhead. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, lift up vertebra by vertebra. Slow and controlled, not using momentum. Take your hands down on your inhale. Exhale, lift the hips up, coming into a reverse plank. Inhale, lower back down. Take your hands forward. Inhale to start to roll down. Then exhale, roll down vertebra by vertebra. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come overhead. Let's do this another 2 times. Take your arms up and over. Exhale, lift up. Take your fingertips to your toes. Hands come down to the mat. Exhale, lift the hips up. Lower back down. Extend the arms. Inhale to start to roll down. Exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come overhead. Let's do that again. Inhale to bring the arms over. Exhale to lift up, reach forward. Inhale, take the arms down. Exhale, press the hips up. Take the arms forward again. Lower back down. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms come overhead. And then we're going to lift up one more time. Inhale, arms come up and over. Exhale, lift up, reach for the toes. Take the arms down for a second. We're going to bend the knees, bring the feet flat on the mat. We're going to come into our half roll back now. So extend the arms so that they parallel with the mat. We're going to exhale, come back into our C curve, making sure our pelvis is tucked under. Inhale to lift up and extend. So exhale, roll back into your half, roll back. Inhale, extend. I want you to focus on keeping those feet flat on the mat and creating length as you lift up from your half roll back. Perfect. Let's do another 2. And then we're going to add on. Last one. Hold it back here. Open that right arm up to the side, reaching back. I want to see, can you dip a little further? So try and touch that mat. Lift up an inch, come back to center. Open up the left arm to the side, touch the mat, lift up an inch, come back to center. So we're just deepening that rotation and getting into the core more. Perfect. So open up, inhale, open, tap the floor, lift back up and close. Okay, we're almost there. Stay with me. Let's do another 2 more. Tap, lift an inch, close. Take that arm back, tap, lift an inch and close. Lift up all the way, creating that extension. Bring your feet together, open the knees apart, extending the spine, fold over, nice hip flexor stretch. And then we're going to come down onto our back. So we're going to roll down onto our backs and we're going to do some more spinal mobility, getting into the glutes. So we're going to do some bridges, but we're going to articulate through the spine. So on your exhale, I want you to press your lower back into the mat and roll up vertebra by vertebra until we're in a shoulder bridge. Inhale to roll down vertebra by vertebra to a neutral spine. Exhale, press that lower back into the mat and lift up vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, lower down vertebra by vertebra. So slow and controlled movements, really feeling that articulation in the spine. Make sure that you are pressing through your heels, that you're keeping that rib to hip connection at the top, so that there's a slight tuck under of your pelvis. Perfect. Let's go for another 2 here. Rolling up slowly and lowering back down slowly and controlled. Following your breath, exhale, lift up. We're going to hold here at the top. Now I want to get into some ankle mobility as well because that's very important. So we're going to lift our heels coming onto our toes, staying up in your bridge and then lower the heels. So we're just lifting and lowering the heels. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Really getting into that ankle mobility. keeping those hips up. So you feel this in the glutes, you'll feel this in the calves as well. Okay, let's go for 2 more. Last one. Lower the heels down and roll the glutes down to the mat. Hug the knees in towards the chest, and then we're going to roll up to seated. We're going to come into a mermaid seat now. So I want you to bring the left leg in front, externally rotated. The right leg is internally rotated to the side. We're going to lift our left arm up and over, coming into lateral flexion. Take your arm down, lifting the right arm up, extending the right leg, and then coming back up and over with the left arm. So doing a nice flow here, getting into some hip mobility, carrying on with our spinal mobility in our lateral flexion. So exhale to lift that leg up. Inhale to lift that arm up and over. Remember to create that length in your body. You're doing so well. On our next one, we're going to hold our leg up. Extend that arm, and we're just going to tap our foot to the mat and lift again. So really lift up in the side waist, lifting those ribs up and in, pushing up out of that shoulder, and then we're just lifting and lowering that leg, feeling it in the side booty, in the hips. Okay, I want you to hold it up. We're going to take it forward and then circle our leg around. You can bring your hand down to the mat if you need more stability. So we're coming into some hip circumduction now. I want you to inhale for half the circle and then exhale for the other half. Slow and controlled, we're going to lift it up, going in the other direction, taking it up and around. Let's go for another 3. Remember your form, your upper body stays stable. There's no movement there. Last one. Take your leg back, extend it back. We're going to bend it, take it forward, tap the floor, lift it up, bend it, extend it back, tap the floor. So we're coming into some hip flexion and some hip extension. We're really working the hips in all angles. This is so good for happy hip joints, healthy mobility. Take it forward and then take it back. Exhale, take it forward, tap the mat. Inhale, take it back, tap the mat, lift it up. We're going to come down into a prone position on our tummies. Your head is going to rest in your hands. We're going to continue working that right leg. So I want you to bend that right leg. And then we're going to, I want you to follow carefully. We're going to lift up that leg, externally rotate it so that your knee is facing outwards. Bring it back to center and lower it back down. So exhale, lift it up. Inhale, externally rotate it. Exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, lower it. Slow and controlled. Feeling that contraction in the glute. Feeling that femur move in your hip socket. Let's do another 3. Last 2. Last 1. Bring it back down, extend that leg, push back to a shell stretch. Very good. Your hips should be feeling mobile on the one side. And then we're going to press back up. I want you to bring that right leg in front, left leg behind this time, so that we're working the other side. Okay, so we're going to lift that right arm up and over, coming into the lateral flexion. Lower that right arm down onto your forearm. Extend that left leg. Left arm comes over. And then we're just going to flow through here. So inhale to lift up into lateral flexion. Exhale to extend that leg. Create that length through your body. Beautiful Pilates movements. Keeping that core engaged. Belly button to spine. Okay, let's do one more. And then we're going to hold our leg extended. Extend that arm. And then we're just going to tap the mat with our foot and lift. So lift up through the side waist. Pressing up out of your shoulder. The top half of your body is not moving. You're just moving your leg from the hip. So exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Okay, you can bring your hand onto your mat. We're going to circle our leg forward, up and around. Inhale for half the circle. Exhale for the other half, keeping that core engaged. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we're going to take it up and around and back. Inhale for half the circle, exhale to complete the circle. Creating that length through the leg. Let's do one more. Perfect. Extend it back, bend it, take it forward, tap the floor, lift it up, extend it back and tap the floor. So exhale, flex your hip and take it forward, and then inhale to extend it back, tap the floor. So good for your hips, coming into some flexion and extension. Those hip flexors will thank you for it. We often don't do enough hip extension work. We're sitting all day, so we're in that flexion. Let's do one more. Bring it forward, tap, take it back, tap, come down into a prone position on your tummies. Forehead rests in hands, bend that left leg. And then we're going to lift it up from the glute, externally rotate it, take it out to the side, come back to center, lower it down. So exhale, lift, inhale, rotate, exhale, take it back to center, inhale, lower. Very good. Carry on with your breath, slow and controlled movements. Really focus on that hip extension, that glute contraction, and that femur rolling around or moving in that hip socket. Okay, let's do one more. Lower it down, lower that leg, press back to a shell stretch. Perfect. I want you to shift forward now. We're going to take that right leg, bring it through between our hands so that we're coming into a pigeon pose. I want you to find your balance, lift up, and extend your arms up, and then we're going to lower back down over that leg, finding a nice stretch in the glute. Take a nice big deep breath here. Okay, take it back, and then we're going to bring the left leg forward, finding that balance, extend up, reaching the arms to the sky, and then folding down over that leg, feeling a nice stretch in the glute. Perfect. Press back to a shell stretch. And then we're going to roll up vertebra by vertebra. Take that right arm up and over, coming into some lateral flexion. And then that left arm up and over. Clasp your hands behind your back. Open up your chest. Feeling a nice extension in the back. Release that. Roll your shoulders backwards and then roll them forward. And then that's it for today's class, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad to have you in my class. If you have liked it, please give me a thumbs up below, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, let me know how you did, how you found it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, guys.